All right, looks like we're live. We're here for Bye Bye Blue Monday. How to banish burnout so you can ensure that your journey to 6, 7 figures is a healthy, happy one. Here on Blue Monday, what they describe as the most depressing day of the year, or the day with the highest incidence of depression. And I didn't make this up, okay? I have been doing this talk since 2017, but it's because I didn't just hear about this, I saw it. What I noticed was that my entrepreneurial friends, who were even the ones that seemed to have, normally be totally lit up on fire, they had just, roared through the new year resolution and setting their goals, and they were all, all like in one, felt like a big wall of yes, suddenly just go deflate. What's going on? And I saw this over and over again. I'm the entrepreneur's hypnotherapist, Melanie McCool. I'm also a peak performance coach. And I've worked with people across the entrepreneurial spectrum, mostly in sales and marketing, for more than 20 years. And so I saw these patterns over and over again. So what is the about? If you're feeling less than motivated, enthusiastic right now, and actually even in the midst of procrastinating on the big goals that you set, you wouldn't be alone. So Blue Monday is the third Monday in January. If you think about it, we just got through the holiday season with all of its merriment and all of that joy, and then the New Year resolutions and the goals were set. And then boom, there's the bank accounts that may have been depleted from overspending. And you probably are still dealing with the sludge from a steady diet of chocolate, cookies, and booze. Am I right? So add to that, in the Northern Hemisphere, we're dealing with winter time. And even though I live in Florida, and here's my cheerful gold ray of sunshine for you from sunny Florida, if you're coming to me from somewhere else in the world, right? In the rest of the world, we're dealing with a lack of sunlight. And vitamin D is vitally important to our mental and physical health. And so Blue Monday, more like depressed Monday, right? And so if you are feeling like you're trudging through the mud right now, know that you're not alone. It's a very common experience, and not just for entrepreneurs, clearly. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, but my goal has always been to help people to regain their joy, their love of self, and to have more of what they envision actually come to fruition in their life. In fact, when I opened my clinical practice, I opened it in downtown Newport Richey, right, on Main Street, USA. And my goal was to actually work with the business owners to help to break them from the chains that were holding them back, right? So that those cycles of procrastination and self-sabotage and the depressive, anxious thoughts, that negative forecaster of doom, all of that would be relieved so that they could regain a sense of joy, enthusiasm, happiness. And that would have a trickle-down effect, right, to all of the employees and their companies and the families of those employees. So this kind of ripple of love, right? That's what I'm here to hope that you can get a sense of today. If I could do anything, I would bottle up some hope and I would hand it to you through the screen. But what I really want you to know is that if you are feeling like you're trudging through the mud, you wouldn't be alone, and you're not broken, right? As I said, I've seen these patterns across tens of thousands of people over the last 20 years or so. And at this time of the year, we do see it at a there's more prevalence of it because of the levels of stress that we're under. That added stress, all the things that make Blue Monday. Plus, I don't think people are actually admitting the outcome or the impact of the chronic stress that we were under for the last couple of years. I mean, we're just kind of emerging from the whole pandemic world. And if that stress wasn't addressed, it's still kind of hanging on and lingering. So, you might be the kind of person who's got this brilliant optimism. I mean, most entrepreneurs kind of do, right? We have an optimism and an enthusiasm for a vision that we have, a belief wholeheartedly in the unseen. And then we take those steps, right, to make it happen. But if you are feeling, less than enthusiastic right now, and if you're actually feeling like you're procrastinating, or maybe you don't even know what your next right steps are, maybe you're less than trusting your gut right now, then give yourself some grace, my friend. Because if you didn't have the tools to manage stress in the most potent way possible, then you're still dealing with the outcome. And so I've used the word stress many, many times already. And I told you I want to bottle hope. So I'm going to propose to you that the solutions to not only never having another Blue Monday, the solution that has everything to do with your ensuring that you can break through the glass ceiling in your mind, right? Break through those revenue goals that you set, right? The solution to that is simpler than you think, but it's like literally almost not applied by most people. And it's my sole purpose in life to give you those tools, right? To break those chains. And then to give you the keys for yourself, for others in your life, right? So if you've been through my Zero Burnout Business Growth Workshop, then you'll know that step 1 in my 5-step method to accelerate business growth without burnout is to, manage the stress by actually neutralizing the biochemistry of stress. See, all of these things that we're talking about, the stressors that come from the outside, you as an entrepreneur require the tools to manage the stress so that you do not burn out. Burnout will take you out of the game. And if you don't know my story, then I'm telling you, I'm not talking from theory. I'm telling you from experience that if you don't manage the stress, you could literally be taken out of your career. And so step 1 would be to manage the stress on a daily basis. And in my workshop, I actually give you just one of the many tools that I give my clients that help them to neutralize the biochemistry of stress. And that's something that's an ongoing process. But that's just step 1. And it's the one that most people probably have some idea of. But step 2 is virtually unknown and not practiced by most of the world. In fact, it seems so simple that you think, well, how could something so simple solve all my problems? I mean, my problems are insurmountable. They're huge. They're massive. All of the things that make me feel blue today, they seem really real. And what I'm going to propose to you here over the next few minutes is that the solution that I can hand you on a silver platter is not only one that will help you to banish burnout and have your business goals come to fruition, but it's one that can relieve you of a world of hurt and pain. And I'm going to ask you not to take my word for it. I'm going to ask you to understand that I am speaking to you after using these tools with more than 500 clinical clients and having them come back stronger than ever before. So knowing that if you are feeling that, procrastination thing going on, this is a stress response. And so step one would be to mitigate that stress using something like the heart coherence that I give you in the Zero Burnout workshop. But here's the next piece is to know that it isn't just about mitigating that stress response that's going on because of things that you're dealing with from the outside. See, a lot of people want to blame burnout on what's going on outside of them. It's their career. It's the line of work that they're in. It's the type of people that they've got to deal with. It's their family. It's this, it's that. So it's all these external stressors. But I would propose that the truth is that most of the stress has everything to do with what's going on between your own ears. So then, because the number one source of 24/7 stress is actually the thoughts that are in your own head. They are what's causing self-sabotage. So stay with me, okay? Because I'm still going to tell you it's not your fault and you're not broken. I'm going to give you the tools to fix it, okay? But you should understand that the tools I'm going to give you, these are the tools, as I said, they will not only help you to, bounce back from burnout, but they can actually help you to make more money with less work and enjoy your money. Okay? They're the very tools that I use to overcome a stress disorder myself. Now, if you don't know my story, I had a very successful career. From the outside, looked like I had it all, right? But ultimately, with chronic unmanaged stress, I ended up with a stress disorder that took me out of my career. Meaning I had to actually stop working because I had to get my health back on track. And when I went looking for solutions to what was extreme burnout, I couldn't find anything that was actually all of the pieces that ultimately helped me to bounce back stronger than before. In fact, to come back to, create a life even better than before, income even better than before, and with a whole lot less work. I had to put this together. I pieced it together. And so I have put this together for you to apply. And that's exactly why I created Program for Prosperity. So I'm a certified master trainer of hypnosis. And so understanding that the number one source of 24/7 stress are actually the thoughts in your own head. Okay. So as I said, having worked with thousands of entrepreneurs over 20 years and working with them in essentially in helping them to succeed, I saw the same self-sabotaging patterns over and over again. And those things, they have names, and I'm sure you've heard of them. The inner critic, comparisonitis, that's one I kind of make up, but it's a good one. Imposter syndrome. If I say the negative forecaster of doom, I think you might have an idea, right? And all of these things that even the most enthusiastic entrepreneurs would, set off on the path to reach their goals and then end up in this kind of cold, dark, anxious place. And I've seen it over and over and over again in my career. And that's why I do what it is that I do. I developed Program for Prosperity so that there would be a place for you to learn the tools to actually change the level of thought. And more than that, to be in the community of others who are on the same path, who are committed to being so resourceful, right? And being so self-supporting that they would never, ever go back to the kinds of habits, whether they be habits of thought or behavior that lead to burnout, right? So I developed Program for Prosperity to give a level of support that you're probably, I could say virtually guaranteed to not find in your normal circles, okay? So as you are in this place, here we are, knowing that you're here because you are still committed, right? You probably have a vision and an idea of how you want to positively impact the world in ways that nobody else can. And I want to tell you that if you have that dream, it is for you. So if you've doubted even for a moment that you are the one that is meant to complete your mission, I want you to just take a deep breath right now and know you've always been the one. That if you could see it, then it is for you. You just probably didn't have the kind of support that you needed. What we know is that, 75% or more businesses will fail. And here at MindWorks, my company, our goal is to actually help business owners, those impact-driven entrepreneurs who have a vision for something that they are, putting into the world that makes it a better place. That far fewer of them would fall down the dark pit, like it is here. We'll call this, that dark pit that would cause them to fail. That they would avoid burnout. That they would, in fact, learn the skills they need to acquire, right? Plus the mindset, the deep subconscious mindset that it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. And so as you just consider here for a moment, do you know anyone who is healthy, happy, wealthy, has a great love life, travels, fun, seems to have a whole lot of adventure or any of the other things that you really love? Do you know anyone like that? And I'm going to say, even if you know just one or two, or if you've heard of them, I'm going to tell you that the only difference between them and you is that their program's pretty well dialed in. Meaning the thoughts that they have at the level of the subconscious mind are supportive, self-supporting, right? In all areas of their life. And they may have gotten there by luck. And I say luck because, what else can you call it? If you're born into a family that's got, great programs running about wealth, health, love, sex, fun, good relationships, kindness, all the good things that make, life really good, the richness of life. If you were born into that kind of family, that's some luck, I tell you. Because most people I meet, no. They've got what I think of as flat tires, right? You ever seen or done the wheels of life, doing those, rate the areas of your life on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And most people have like flat tires, right? I typically see 3 areas of their life that they could dial in. But here's what you might not have known, is that it doesn't have to take years to dial these things in. In fact, you could take years and you might not ever dial them in unless you addressed it at the level of the subconscious mind. You've been riding through life with flat tires. Programming that's just a little off, that with a little tweak, you can not only banish burnout, but have the prosperous life in all ways that you've imagined when you work with it at the level of the subconscious mind. Now, what's going to happen when you fix those flat tires? I'll tell you, your life becomes extraordinarily different, okay? Because you've been riding around on flat tires your whole life. What happens when your car can just go, my friend? Well, we don't know yet. All I know is that your potential expands as you move towards it. And you will not go back. That is what I promise you as you come through my program for prosperity. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Is there are ways that you can actually get on track even now to make this year the best year of your life by fixing those flat tires, the level of the subconscious mind. And as we move into this year, I'm going to invite you to be part of a community of people who are learning to use the most advanced tools that are available to change the level of thought, the level of the subconscious mind. Because as you probably already realize, I'll ask you, how many years have you been in personal and professional development? How many courses, trainings, certifications? Oh, do you have a lot of shelf help? Right, those self-help books that are sitting on a shelf. How many courses do you have that you have not applied? Oh, that's heartbreaking, isn't it? Man. And what if just by fixing your flat tires, all of that stuff that you've already invested in actually gets applied? What would that do for your business? I'll tell you, you'll be flying higher than you ever thought possible. So, Blue Monday. And you might be sitting there feeling like, guilt and shame, feeling like you should be further along than you are. And, I really don't expect that you would comment, yeah, that's me. Because, well, what is an entrepreneur? You've got to show the highlight reel, right? You've got to show up as if everything's just awesome. But if you are aware that you're the only one that's holding you back, then isn't it time that you learned how to be the one that leads you to your goals? I want to give you the tools that not only help me to bounce back from burnout, but these tools that I have seen my clients apply over and over again to get out of the negative spiral. To within days, I am so inspired by my clients. Brings me to tears. They may come to me so burnt out that they don't have a single self-care practice in their life anymore. They've given it all away. They've sacrificed everything, not even realizing it was happening along the way. Come so dejected, no idea what their next right step is, barely hanging on by a thread because their health has been impacted so badly, and scared to death that their business that looks they look like a picture of success in the community, connected to all the movers and shakers, being invited to all the right things, making money, but the profit's not there, right? All of this going on, and they just, beating themselves up. And within days, seeing them roar back, all of their sense of self back in play, and making those decisions that are not only like the most powerful self-care, self-loving decisions ever, with just a little tiny tweak in the program. Not only those things that help them to get their health back on track, but making big decisions and strides about boundaries in their business, about boundaries in their personal lives, about reclaiming their, their happiness, their joy, their space in days. That's what we get to do. And so if you are finding yourself feeling anything, less than joyful, on fire, excited for your business, if you have had that escapism fantasy, the one where you would just like quit it all, right? And just go off and live on an island somewhere and just drop it all, right? Just boom. If you've had that, if you have that more than once a month, we got to talk. If you felt like you just want to quit, we got to talk. It's my goal to help more good people to reach true financial freedom. And we can do this. We absolutely do this with the work that I do in the Prosperity Lounge. And so if you started your business with a fire in your belly and enthusiasm and excitement for your work, and now you feel like you really resent your business, I don't expect you to comment, but I do expect you to reach out and have a conversation. Okay, because we can together with the simple tools that I give you. I told you it's simple. And you may be thinking, well, how the heck could something so simple solve all these problems that I've been dealing with for so long? I'm not going to ask you to believe me. I'm going to ask you to go look at my client testimonials, because it's not about something that I'm doing magically for them. I'm magically handed there. They are unlocking the magic in their own mind. And so let me just put this one in here because it's a big one. If you are feeling distant from your business, if you're thinking, yes, I want to make more money, but I don't know how the heck I could sacrifice one more thing to make money, that is a foot on the brake. And that's exactly why there's a glass ceiling, right? That's exactly why you haven't been able to break through the revenue goals, because you haven't got the vision yet to see how you can make more money with less work. But we can find it. And I don't know what the right way is for you, but we'll find it together. That's what we get to do. It's a specialty. And so what I'm going to say is that you're going to want to reach out to me, because we're going to together learn some of the most potent tools that you can use, not just to set your GPS for this year, right? My goal is that my clients would receive more this year than they would in years or if ever. But you're going to have the tools that not only, we lockstep walk in the pursuit of that goal here over the next 6 months or so, but that you would then have the tools to continue to set your GPS. So if your goal right now is to go, to break through a revenue ceiling, boom, we do that. And then you can reset the GPS and get to the next level over and over again. Because as they say, new level, new devil, right? New level, new mind stuff to get under control. And you don't have years to waste. If you actually think that another course on how to, the next whiz bang strategy course is what's going to help you to grow, I'm going to ask you, what if that's just another level of like putting lotion on your hand to help the mindset. The mind must be worked at the level of the subconscious. And so if you know that you are ready for the changes, if you can admit to yourself at a deep, loving level that the only thing between you and everything you've ever wanted is what's going on between your own ears, then it's time to just change what's going on between your own ears. And I'm going to just tell you a little, give you a little insight into why hypnosis, why self-hypnosis. And that has everything to do with the fact that this kind of programming at the level of the subconscious has been used by the best minds throughout history. They didn't necessarily call it self-hypnosis, but I'll tell you that, our Olympians and astronauts, they are all using hypnosis and self-hypnosis, the types of things that I teach. And it shouldn't just be for these kind of elite people. It's available to all of us. It's not hard. It really isn't. But if you understand that our thoughts are basically a program that was laid down from when you were a kid, and if you look around your life, then what you're seeing is the result of what you've been thinking over the last 30 years or so. Then it would make sense that if you want to change what you're seeing around you, you would change what you've been thinking. And so if you go into these processes that I can teach you, then you can envision a different future, install the habits that it takes to be wildly successful in whatever it is that you desire, and watch it happen around you. And I'll tell you that Thomas Edison used self-hypnosis. The story goes, he'd have a problem and he'd go to sit in his thinking chair with a steel ball. This isn't a steel ball. It's just a beautiful ball I have. And he would go and sit in his thinking chair with a steel ball in his hand, close his eyes, and go into the place inside where all the answers are. You've got the same place. Why do you have a steel ball? Because with the steel ball in his hand, he wouldn't fall asleep. See, as we go to sleep, we enter delta, and we're leaving that magical place that you can go to in hypnosis, which is just above sleep, to reach that level of genius that exists in you. It isn't true that just some people have genius. We are all wired for it. It's the reason why using heart coherence is available to every single human being, because our nervous system is wired for it. And you are wired for genius. It's just that nobody ever taught you. Nobody taught us that we could change the level of thought. There's a part of you that feels like you are what you think. There's a part of you who thinks that some of these behaviors that you have that are self-sabotaging are just your personality, but it's absolutely not true. Completely untrue. And you can become anything that you've ever envisioned. Any outcome, I don't think you're going to sprout wings and fly. Okay, so let's get real. But if you have a goal for an entrepreneurial venture, if you serve other people, right? If you have a passion and you serve other people with excellence, and there are other people who have done what you set out to do, then it is possible. And all it takes really is for you to fix those flat tires, right? And then, as I said, there's nothing different between you and the person who has got it all, except that they were either lucky enough to not have flat tires in the first place, or they fixed them. Right? And so if you look around right now and you don't like what you see, then those 80,000 thoughts that have been running the show, well, they've got to be reprogrammed. You got to change them. And that's exactly what I am here to help you to do. So if you're ready to make this year the best year ever, I'm going to invite you into Program for Prosperity and to join me in the Prosperity Lounge. Now, over the next couple of days, you're going to see me ramp or roll out the Program for Prosperity program. And you'll see some really exciting bonuses that we'll start to put into the group. But I'm going to tell you that if you book your call right now, that is today, from this Blue Monday talk, then I've got a very special bonus just for you. Especially if you have found yourself in that level of deep, dark despair. I have a very special place in my heart to help you to break those chains now so that you can, within days, see that turnaround like my clients do. And so if you book your call now, I am going to give you a bonus that will help you to break out of that deep, dark place. And so if you're here, especially because you have felt a level of depression, then it's time to move that out of your life forever. That is my life's goal, is that you would have and retain a sense of joy and peace and love here in this life. That is our birthright. And it is my purpose. It's my purpose. And so with that, I'm going to wrap this up today. But please do get in touch if you'd like to learn more about Program for Prosperity. Then drop P4P under this video. Okay, so P4P, that's what we call it here inside. My team and I call it P4P. It's Program for Prosperity. And if you'd like to speak to me and claim that bonus, then you can either, drop the words book a call or bonus, and we'll make sure that we get on the phone here and I can help you to make those changes and very, very rapidly. All right, so with that, I am Melanie McCool. I'm the entrepreneur's hypnotherapist and peak performance coach. I'm the founder of Program for Prosperity, and I so look forward to working with you in the lounge where we can banish burnout and say goodbye to Blue Mondays forever. I cannot wait to help you to see your juicy dream life come to fruition. All right, so with that, I'm going to shut down now and go take a break. But please do drop me any comments, any questions, anything that you may have commented along the way here. I will respond to each and every one. All right. So with that, may you have a beautiful, blessed Monday, rest of your day. You deserve it. All right. With that, bye-bye.